Morning and Happy New Year. I hope you have a wonderful New Year's Eve celebration and spend a good time with your family and your loved ones. I know we are in a different and a difficult situation to celebrate, but I hope you were able to wish a Happy New Year to your loved ones. And also, I hope you have had the time to kind of set your goals for this year, but not like really crazy goals out there that by January 15th are all done and left behind, but something that really meaningful for you at your spiritual level, your work or whatever, something really meaningful that you would like to look into this new year that God gave us the opportunity to live. So welcome again to our first Friday Faith Sharing. Today we are blessed to have Brother Mike with us. He is, it's amazing person in the work that he does with John the 23rd Center in St. Patrick's. It's just great, and we decided to ask him to come here and be with us, and because again the whole idea is to get to know each other and to get to know people from the different three parishes of the Catholic community in Central Racine. And Brother Mike is a very important piece for us in St. Patrick's. So Brother Mike, welcome.
Thank you. Good to be here.
So, of course, Brother Mike, I know you, as I said, I say brother, so you have something to tell us about your faith experience and your faith journey that you will tell us.
Yes. Well, first of all, I'm a De La Salle Christian brother, technically known as the Brothers of the Christian Schools, which is a worldwide community of brothers. In the Catholic Church, we are an all-brother institute. We don't have any priests in our community, and we were founded in 1680 in France. And I was born and grew up in Manitowoc, Wisconsin, about 2 hours north of here. Went to Catholic school, and I met the brothers at Roncalli High School, where at that time they were teaching and administering right in Manitowoc, Wisconsin, and then got interested in their lifestyle and went to St. Mary's now University in Winona, where I graduated. And since then, I've been teaching and working in the Midwest with the community. And so in 2003, I moved to Racine, and was part of Racine until 2015. Then I moved to Chicago in another ministry for 4 years, and then returned in the summer of 2019 back to Racine.
Yeah, that's wonderful. And we know that, you just said the story in the 1600s, so this is way far back. And if you would like to share us a bit of the spirituality of the Christian brothers, okay. It will be great for us to know more about like the different spiritualities that are out there. I think most of the people here in Racine are very comfortable and well-known or well-acquainted with the Racine Dominicans, the sisters over the Siena Center, but let us know a bit more about the Christian brothers.
Right. Well, as I mentioned, we're a worldwide community. We're in 80 different countries, and we refer to our spirituality as La Sallian spirituality, named after the founder of the brothers was St. John Baptist de La Salle, who's the patron of teachers, by the way, in the Catholic Church. So our spirituality is really based on education and promoting what we call a Christian and human education for youth, particularly for those who are at the margins. So we run education centers, schools from preschool to university level throughout the world. And in many cases, they are in third world countries where education is not as available, but also our spirituality is very much based on relationships, based on the whole person, as well as the catechetical piece. And so we find ourselves working in lots of different cultures where Christians are not even the majority, like Pakistan and Egypt, Greece, Thailand, Indonesia, countries where there are a lot of people of different faiths who we work with, but at the same time we welcome them into the community. So my spirituality right now, in my ministry right now, I don't teach religion explicitly, but I am involved in education in the whole person and through the center, and that's what I do.
Awesome, awesome. I'm sorry, I'm going off the script here, and you may be feeling uncomfortable, and you may be feeling like grilled. But
No.
I know many people of us like know like a priest, a bishop, or something like that. What does or we if we talk about a sister, we know a nun, but what does it mean to be a brother?
Well, a brother is in the church of the same status, as you'd say, as a religious sister, except we're male. So religious brothers live in community. We make 5 vows as brothers, but we take the 3 traditional religious vows. We are not involved directly in the sacramental life. We are not ordained. So the best way to explain what a brother is like most people have brothers, either blood brothers, or they are a brother if they're a male to people. And so that relationship is kind of one of equality, fraternity, community. So the title brother really represents that type of relationship as a servant, as a minister in the church. So it's a unique vocation, and a lot of religious communities have brothers in the community, like Benedictines and Franciscans, but they also have priests. And the difference with our community is we're an all lay, as we'd say, community. So we have our brother vocation is the vocation.
Awesome.
Yes.
Great. So I know that the big ministry that you do, and of course, it goes in hand with your spirituality as a Lasayan, as a brother, and is John the 23rd. So could you explain to us a bit about this center? Because it's John the 23rd, which is a center of that works out of St. Patrick's. It's a ministry of the St. Patrick's Parish, but it's a unique center that is run by you.
Well, thank you. The origins of the center really go back in time to those who are part of the Catholic community maybe remember San Juan Diego Middle School, and today is the feast of when we're taping it is the feast of San Juan Diego. But that began in 2003, and after 6 years, financially, it could no longer be sustained. So when Father Ricardo was the pastor of St. Patrick's at the time, he and several of us who were working at the center came up with the idea of transitioning to an educational center, which we named after Pope John the 23rd, who's now Saint John the 23rd, to represent kind of an open-ended, welcoming, warm community. So our center is a ministry of St. Patrick Parish. It exists in the old school, St. Patrick's School, and we run programming for middle school and high school students after school from 4 to 5:30, then in the evenings from 6:30 to 8. And then we have a growing, until the pandemic hit, a growing outreach program where we go into local public, Catholic, and private schools. We offer groups to support students in the social and emotional realm. And then recently we began to do some work with staffs, with teachers. So we did an in-service in the summer for the teachers of Our Lady of Grace Academy and St. Rita's in the area of mindfulness, of centering, of focusing your day. So we're kind of continually branching out into some new avenues. So that really is the ministry. And in that ministry, we don't explicitly teach religion, but as St. Francis said, we preach the gospel. We use words if necessary. So.
Yeah. So that's great. Again, it's a very beautiful ministry, and of course, we cannot thank you enough for the work that you do, along with all those who volunteer and work there. I don't know. I mean, many people are out here that may be feeling like, how can they volunteer or support? And I mean, like, are you in? Of course, now because of the pandemic, it's different. But is there any way that somebody could help, like as volunteer and mentoring? Because what I kind of understand is that you kind of create those relationships of mentoring and people and helping students to to do better in classes. So, is any opportunity out there?
Yes, yes. Again, once we open up and we are back to so-called normal, we always look for people to be mentors, as you said, who would meet with students once a week individually at the center to kind of walk along them, accompany them on their journey. We also are seeking tutors, especially in the areas of math and science, who could come whenever their schedule allows to work with students as is needed. We also have behind the scenes uh, roles, welcoming people at the door. We have a sustainability committee which helps raise funds for the center, so they're always looking for volunteers of people who would be willing to devote some time, particularly people who are good at development or fundraising. So there are different ways in which we try to use volunteers uh, based on their need, based on their skills. And unfortunately, since March, we haven't been able to utilize those volunteers as much as we would like, but that's true for a lot of church ministries today.
Awesome, great. So you already know more about St. John the 23rd Center. Brother, could you tell us more about okay, I know your main ministry is St. John the 23rd Center and all the work that you do with the volunteers and some of your brother Lascians. But speak about a bit of your involvement with the parish, St. Patrick's.
Mm-hmm.
I know you, when I do Mass there, I see you there, so you go to Mass. So how
Mm-hmm.
could you speak to that relationship and how the faith community St. Patrick's is nourishing your own spiritual journey?
Mm-hmm. Well, our viewers might not know that our community lives in the old convent at St. Patrick Parish, so we're literally on the property, and we're the only ones who are there at night. So we kind of keep an eye out for the plant and so forth. And there are three of us currently in the community: another brother, and then what we call a Lascian partner who works with adjudicated youth in Racine. And we've had as many as 8 members of the community who have lived there. So I live right at the parish. And I've found that, it's the first time I've lived in and worked with a community where whites were not the majority in the neighborhood. So when I moved to Racine, that was new for me.
Mm-hmm.
So that's been an enriching experience because it's more diverse than other communities I've lived in. So in coming to St. Patrick's, I've learned to be more appreciative of other cultures and also to be aware of a parish where it's not necessarily the most well off financially, but it has a nice blend of personalities and different people who bring what they have. I can speak Spanish somewhat. I'm not expert in any way, but if I have to get by, I can have a conversation. But if I go to a Spanish Mass or a Spanish activity, I can pick up more or less what's going on, but I do go to the English Mass. But I find that it's a very welcoming community and very involved in justice, and it's open to new experiences. And so I think that's an important piece today. To be a church, as Pope Francis said, we need to get out of our bubbles and go into the community, and that's one of the reasons why at the John 23rd Center we go into public schools, we go into private schools, which is something, particularly in public schools, that the church has not done.
Great. Of course, thank you very much for sharing with us. One last thing, I mean, of course, your experience is very different to any of us because you're a brother, belong to a Christian institution, so a religious institution, have a very particular ministry, really hands-on on being, as you took to talk with different people in different projects and really, I mean, I get all your information that you send and all the things that are out there, and I'm really excited about that. I and like really excited that how can we, I mean, like how we can be more involved in the society here in Racine, and that really I'm really grateful for having you in St. Patrick's and having you being part of this Catholic community in Central Racine, because I do see how we, as you mentioned it, not doing the uh, religious classes per se or teaching religion, but we do have a presence as a church, and I think that's very important for us because that's what the gospel compels us to do. Um, if you would have to recommend St. Patrick's, or if you won't have to, well, more than recommend, if you would have to give an advice to somebody to live their faith in the fullness, and so what would you be? Who would you say?
Well, I would certainly say to come in and to come to Mass, and particularly, I think you would appreciate the homilies. The homilies, I think, are well prepared. That's very important to me, and I think that people are welcoming. You'll find someone who will be interested in what you're trying to do, as to the extent you want to get involved. And also, for example, in some parishes, when the sign of peace comes along, people don't go beyond their pew. And at St. Patrick's, especially at the masses I've been to, people sort of move around, or there's a real welcoming spirit. And I feel it's between different cultures too. So I'd recommend it for that reason.
Great, awesome. Thank you, brother, for being here with us, and thank you for sharing your experience, your work, and all what you do. Certainly, we will continue to pray for your ministry, pray for you that God give you many more years and strength and hope and energy to do the work that you do, because I know it's a big work, and we are grateful for that. So Eloy used to work with them, and then before this, there was like a lot of nice conversations here. So it's great to brother Mike and Eloy that share their work and work together, and we look forward to be working more together with you, brother. So thank you very much for participating. Thank you very much for you to tune in and get to know more brother Mike, more our ministry in St. Patrick's, the John the 23rd Center, and again, if you feel called by the Lord to be a volunteer, don't hesitate to contact us. You can contact me or lawyer straight to Brother Mike. So, of course, there are a few things that you need to do in training, but we are always welcome to have more people involved and helping us. So, great to be with you in this time of faith sharing. Remember, we are the Catholic community in Central Racine, one faith, one family.